Hi, evening y'all. So I hope you had a great 4th of July. I tell you what, my days are mixed up, my months are mixed up, my seasons are mixed up. In fact, I don't know whether I'm coming or going. On the 4th of July, I was editing Christmas photos. Looking at snow, looking at Christmas trees, reliving all the great houses I photographed last winter for Christmas, getting ready for the Christmas issue, and getting things in order so my writers can get in touch with the homeowners and do some great articles. And as soon as I get home next week, I'm going to be uploading the fall issue to go to print. So I'm looking at scarecrows and pumpkins and finalizing all the little details on the fall issue, and that'll be coming in your mailbox, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks or so. So that's something to look forward to. So after looking at Christmas pictures and listening to fireworks, I set out on Thursday to the heartland, to America's heartland. That's where you're supposed to be in the summertime. And I went to Missouri. Wow, I'm telling you, the corn and the beans in Missouri were stupendous. I don't know, all the rain they must have got and good warm weather now is making those crops just grow through like crazy. So I'm happy for the farmers. I'm actually in Indiana right now on my way home, and their corn doesn't look quite as good, but it still looks pretty good. So hope all the farmers in our heartland have a good crop this year. And so while I was in Missouri, I photographed a house in Hannibal, Missouri, the home of Susan Lichty. And Susan is just a sweetheart. I actually photographed some of her musical instruments for the Make-Do book. We were talking about it when I was there, trying to figure out when that was, and the Make-Do book doesn't seem like it was all that long ago, but she had went and looked and talked about it, and it was like 6 years ago when I was at her house doing that. And man, I can't believe it. I tell you what, time just goes by so fast. It makes you really think about valuing every single day and every minute, and not letting time just go wasted by. So anyways, I had an awesome day with Susan. We worked real closely together to get the photographs of her home just right. She was having fun too, photographing along with me with her cell phone, and we actually moved some furniture around just a little bit, and it was fun to watch her while I was working. She was taking a lot of different views of her house. I think looking at it maybe with a little bit different eye. Sometimes I think we get stagnant in our homes and on our collections. We're just used to seeing it every day, and you just walk by it, and it's not that you don't appreciate it. We do appreciate it, but you just forget how good it really is. And so I'm hoping that the day we spent together made Susan reevaluate her home and her collections and fall in love with it all over again, because it's a fabulous house and full of just delicious wonderfulness. And so I know that you're gonna fall in love with it, and I think she did too, all over again. And I'm glad. Sometimes we just got to rejuvenate our batteries. And so anyway, then this morning I had the divine pleasure to spend the day with an old friend, Eric Nichols. He's in, well, he doesn't live in Hermann, but he works in Hermann, Missouri. And so when I was with Susan, oddly enough, her town is literally right on the Mississippi River, and it's actually the birthplace of Mark Twain. And while I was there, they were having Mark Twain days, which was cool. We went and ate at a restaurant right on the river, and there were people everywhere. It was incredible and really cool to see all the people come out for that. It felt like small town America in the summertime, and made me think about Huck Finn and all their adventures. And she was telling me that the caves that Mark Twain wrote about in Huck Finn were just right outside of the town there. And so it was cool to think about all his adventures in the book, and and to celebrate Mark Twain. So then, but Eric's town in Hermann is a really, really super historic town in Missouri. It is so charming. So many buildings there are still original and fabulous, and it's just, man, it is the heartland, quaint, charming small town of America. The perfect time to go there in the summer and celebrate our great nation. And his town is right literally on the Missouri River. So it was kind of cool. For 2 days I was in two really important river towns, important to Missouri. And so anyway, my friend Eric, as you remember, I photographed his house. I'm not even sure we didn't really talk about that. It's probably been a lot longer ago than I remember too. Seems like yesterday. We did his house at Christmas time. So I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna guess 4 years ago or something like that. And so since that time, he's always been the organizer of the Hermann Antique Show. It's twice a year, and he does it for a couple that's well known in that town. They have a home there, and they also have a home in California, and they own a lot of historic buildings there. And he puts the antique show on for them in one of their historic buildings. So he's been doing that for a long time, and in his relationship with them, they're the Deerbergs. They also have had a long-term vision of having a farm museum, and they've been buying property and antiques and buildings and just really had this vision for a long time. And so after getting to know Eric for many years in the antique business, and then having him run their antique show, they brought Eric on board to run their museum. And they couldn't have found a better, most caring, important, perfect curator for their vision. And I am so happy for Eric. He deserves every single thing that is coming his way at this season of his life. And Hermann is his hometown. He moved there when he was 15, I think he said, freshman in high school. And so his roots are there, and he shares the vision of these owners, and it's just a beautiful marriage. It's a beautiful relationship that they share. And so I had the honor of getting a one-on-one tour of the Hermann Farm Museum from my dear friend Eric today, and oh, what a wonderful time we had. And he shared with me the history there, and they have a lot of log cabins there. They have two very important farmhouses. Everything about the museum focuses around 1840 is kind of when that area was settled. And it kind of takes you from log cabin living from the first settlers that came there from Philadelphia. Eric and I talked about the fact that it was such a frontier in Missouri still then, and I think these people from Philadelphia were really thinking that they were coming to a territory that was a little more settled than it was when they actually got there. And I think they had a really harsh winter the first year they came there. And but after that, things started to flourish, and then the farm goes on to show a kind of middle-of-the-road farmer, a man that certainly wasn't poor, but certainly wasn't wealthy either. And he was, as a lot of people in that area were, he was doing a lot of distilling on his property at the time. That area of Missouri is pretty well known then and now for wineries, breweries, and now distilleries. And so it's really a destination for people that are doing that kind of thing. So then you go from his farm to the next farm that Eric's farm represents, and then that was a wealthier family, and they were in the winery business. So it shows their home too a little bit later. Very fine home. So you can see just the progression of the history of that area all at the Hermann Farm Museum. And I just encourage you, if you're ever in the area, it's such a charming town. There's something to do there for several days, and you sure don't want to miss the Hermann Farm Museum. But if you can't travel there, of course I want to show it to you in the magazine next year. So between celebrating the 4th of July and getting the fall issue to print and editing Christmas photos, then I was also working on the summer issue for 2019. So my head's in a tailspin right now. Like I said, I don't know at this point whether I'm coming or going, whether it's hot or cold, and but that's just how the magazine business is, and that's how we roll. So anyway, I just wanted to say hey, tell you that I've been in Missouri, and I'm in Indiana now on my way home. I'll be home tomorrow, and then I'm going to work real hard as soon as I get home to finalize everything on the fall issue and get that to print so that so it can be in your mailbox real soon. And just a little update, and then I'll holler at you again real soon. I'm going to be in Ohio next weekend at another great home, so when I get through with that, I'll let you know how that goes. So if you're winding down your holiday week, or still gonna do a little more celebrating tomorrow, I'll be thinking about you, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I love you guys. Thanks. Bye.